At the beginning of the year, I made some goals, or I set some goals, and I made some intentions. And in today's episode, I would like to track on how I did with those intentions and goals that I set. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Laura Franzman-Botha, and I post lifestyle videos every Sunday. So on my channel, you can find anything from weekends away, exploring South Africa, recipes, family time, tips for health, exercise, wellness, makeup tutorials, just anything that's in the lifestyle area. So I am going to go get myself some lunch now. It's 10 to 11 now, so this is my first meal of the day. What are we gonna have for dinner tonight? So I've warmed my lunch and I'm just gonna sit here outside on the stoep in the sun, catch a little bit of rays. At the beginning of the year, I made some goals, or I set some goals, and I made some intentions. And in today's episode, I would like to track on how I did with those intentions and goals that I set for myself. And just now in the kitchen, I asked hubby what I must make for dinner. And that was actually one of the intentions that I set for myself at the beginning of the year, is to start with meal planning. And so far, I have not done very well on that aspect. I've got like a basic idea of what we're going to make every week, but I don't think I bring in enough variety. And just now, I was still thinking what I should make, even though I have like ideas of what to make weekly. During the day or the day of, there's always uncertainty of what should I make today. So on the area of meal planning, I have not done so well, and I must maybe start focusing on that bit a little bit more again. I think this curry has been the best one I've ever made. It's delicious. Continuing from my lunch conversation earlier, after lunch I quickly packed the dishwasher, don't do that, and made myself a cup of tea. And you remember these mugs that I bought earlier in the year? Just look at this cute little bee design that it's got. So I bought these mugs earlier in the year, and in this past week or two, I've given coffee or tea to my sister and my Sil in these cups. And it's quite interesting. When my sister saw the bee, she said it reminds her of Wedgwood. When my sister-in-law saw the bee, she said it reminds her of Silence of the Lambs. And this little bee reminds me of Gucci. And it's quite interesting because it just shows where our interests lie and how everyone is different and how they see the same thing and interpret it differently. But let me take a quick sip. So yes, my New Year's resolutions or intentions, how did I go with that? I'll link the video, the original video. I'll look on the information card somewhere up here. So on my original video, as I already touched upon earlier when I had lunch, one of my intentions or goals was to do meal planning, and it was a little bit of a fail. I have not done that successfully so that it has become a habit as yet. So I need to spend some more time working on that one. I'm not sure if I must maybe just make a list of the items that my kids and husband like the most and then just keep those ones on repeat maybe. And so that I know every week, okay, today is this is on the menu. Because as I mentioned earlier, I've got a general idea of what we eat weekly, but then on the day there's always the question, what am I going to make tonight? So with regards to meal planning, that one has been a little bit of a Okay, then I also had some health goals earlier in the year, and they were related to exercise, water intake, and actually the meal planning can also go goes related to the health goals. With regards to the exercise, I am happy to say and to report back that I've stuck to those goals. So most days of the week I exercise, except for weekends now. On weekends we normally go for a walk as a family, so that would normally be on a Saturday or a Sunday, but now during winter it's been a little bit of a challenge because of the weather and because of flu season and cold season going around in the family. So exercise has been good. Most days I do Pilates in the morning, and then 2 or 3 times a week, if I'm not doing the Pilates, I'm doing the weight training. And you'll remember that weight training was one of my goals for the year. So I feel quite happy so far with the progress that I've made and that I've stuck to the goal of doing the weight training. With regards to the water intake, I mentioned earlier in the year that my diary, which is this one, that my diary has a spot for putting habits down. And as I'll show you now in the diary, you'll see that I've noted exercise, I've noted walk, and then I've noted water at 12, because like I mentioned earlier in the year, I started with a habit the previous year of drinking water in the morning, but during the day I'm quite bad with drinking water. I'll have tea twice a day, but water I'm struggling with. So at the beginning of the year, my goal was to increase my water intake, so at least to have water midday as well. And as I mentioned, I'm struggling a little bit with that one. I'm still struggling with that one. And I actually think, like I said, at the beginning of the year, I was tracking it. I don't know if you can see here. I was tracking it daily and I was marking it down how I was going and how it was, and you'll notice that somewhere in the year I just stopped doing that and I stopped tracking it. And I think it's because I stopped that exercise of tracking it and seeing all those little crosses in a row. So that motivation that you build when you start doing those crosses, I stopped doing that, and I actually think that that is where I made my mistake of not tracking it. So maybe I must get into the habit of writing the things down again and tracking it in my diary so I can see the progress that has been made. Okay, so those are all the health type of goals that I set earlier on in the year. And then one of my other goals around my family, and I think with that one it's been a success. As a family, we've had many different outings and events together this year. I think I shared in one of my videos, I shared the calabash experience that I took my kids to that. Then quite recently we went away with the family. We went away for a weekend together, so yes, the kids got to spend time with their aunts and uncles and cousin, and then also just spending time with my brother and sister in general, just with quick family game nights, card nights, or just popping in for a quick visit over the weekend. So with regards to the family aspect, I think I've done well, and I must continue with that one, building more memories or creating more memories for us as a family. Then one of my other goals for the year was also to get more involved with charities. Last year I've started getting involved with charities, and the charity that I supported last year and that supported me, I'm still involved with them, and I still help out where I can, and I still share whenever they've got nice initiatives going on. Then earlier in the year, I was thinking about entering Mrs. SA again, and at that stage someone contacted me and they asked me if I want to get involved with their charity, and then as I would be involved with their charity, they would get my name out there in the area, because I feel that that was what I was lacking the previous time that I did Mrs. SA. And then they would give me exposure and I will give them exposure on a bigger scale. So that was when they contacted me initially, that was the brief or the idea that would be the case, or that is how things would work. And then as things progressed, the person in charge of this charity, they became more and more demanding, and they expected things of me that I was not comfortable with. And at that stage, I told this person that this is not what I signed up for, and just the way how she treats people, I could not align myself with that. So for those reasons, I told this lady that I can't work with you or your charity. Yes, I told this lady that I can't do the things that she expects of me, because I don't like making commitments to something or someone knowing that I won't be able to keep my commitments. So for that reason, and because our personalities didn't gel so well, I told her that no, I can't do this for you. And as soon as I said no to this woman, she told me, you're fired from this project. In the end, I think it was the right decision, and it also gave me the chance to pursue what I want to pursue, because doing Mrs. SA again is not necessarily something that I want to pursue again. I would much rather spend my time and effort on this YouTube channel and making content for you guys, and focus on building up this community that we've started creating together. And I hope that you would. So yes, I think my goal of working more with charities, I think not that it's taken a back seat. As I say, I'm still involved with the charity that supported me last year, but I don't think I'm going to take on any new charity initiatives. Maybe if someone contacts me for something very specific, then I would consider it, and if it aligns with my values and with what I hold dear, then I would do it. But otherwise, I don't think I'll get more involved with charities. I would much rather focus on the YouTube. Have you made resolutions or set goals earlier on in the year? How is your goals going? Have you tracked the progress that you've made, that you have not made? Have you adapted your goals now, half year, mid-year through? Let me know your goals and how you are doing with them, if you are achieving them, if you are on track with them for the rest of the year. And I'll see you again next week. Bye.